Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time for the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Good morning, Nevermornings, and we are still having technical difficulties. This one I can fight, though, I think. Good morning, happy hump day. Before we get into the rather interesting chat, how I'm paying my bills, and we will talk. Oh, I have to change that because I just realized there's a flaw in my crawl because Luke Stone is no longer with Raging 2 Network. Okay, well, we can fix that. Guys, Nevermind the Furthermore is made possible by a generous donation from Jobach Tech Apps at Jobach. We'll just go give it the bit.ly, JB Tech Apps. Go here. We're using high-tech old school today. Because, brothers and sisters, friends and family, it has been a run. We are also made possible by the lovely folks at Amazon selling my books, The Simple Sword, The Fighting Axe, The Simple Spear, which my copies are coming in soon, and the Big Stompy Robots line of games and novellas. If you go to the Jobach Tech Apps, you can get the exclusive Big Stompy Robots Quick Play Companion app, which has the rules, dice roller, and direction determination in degrees. We're going to work on changing that we have to make some tweaks, but we're going to get there. And, of course, every day that when things go through, my man Brian K. Morris comes through. I see him hitting the chat. And, I do. Yes. I do have some minor apologies for the slight late start of the show. My computer decided to restart all wow. Okay. We're gonna see if I can get that to do something so I can share it. We're gonna try to get through the show, and then I will be once again deep diving the wonderful world of technology. That's part of what we do. We have to know how to use the tools and deal with them when they break. I was half a beat from trying to run the show from my phone, which is why I have an extra arm right here in case I ever have to do that. We'll put you back up. Maybe. Because, of course, the mic system didn't try to fall over for no apparent reason in the middle of me dealing with problems. Pen tablet users, be real careful with Windows 11. Apparently, it despises my XP pen. I've reloaded the drivers. I don't know. But apparently last night it tried to update, froze up, got in a loop, and then when I pulled everything apart to get it going, looped itself a couple more times to untangle. Blessed is the systems that keep us going. Hello. Now that we're past our session of Hump Day Applied Entropy, let's hit the comments, and I want to hear your accountability. My accountability, before I hit the comments, actually, has been did some more writing. I will be putting out the Cyber Tacto for this week after the show, before I work on all this. Normally I try to do that before the show, but then I have a show like this. We've had a lot of just system errors around these parts, and we're making do. But I still done some creation, and I'm starting to get my art back pre-injury levels. Sometimes when you work with really complex tools, guys, and I've been learning lots of different art programs. I probably have 5 or 6 I've installed at different points on this computer alone. And you can get, in chasing the tools, lose track of the creation. So yesterday I was having a bad day due to a med error on my part. So I've had a rough couple of days, and I knocked out some banger art. So if you go to deviantart.com/NickT, you'll see that, or my Twitter. I even shared it on Facebook. Also, I'm trying to get, because my upload link is so dodgy right now. Let me see if I can get this to show. This is a piece that our dear friend Glenn B. Fleming sent me, I assume in relation to the passing of Queen Victoria. And it is his character Hatch in full regalia, and what a beautiful piece. Look at that, guys. I'm going to do that, bring that back up again. He has sent me some things, as did Mike Jimmy, apparently, but I can't get things to upload to StreamYard right now while I'm fighting this. So, follow Hatch, subscribe to our man Glenn, and let's just keep going on down the line. Yes, the way we adapt is using our brains, and we'll go there. Let's see. Don't let me run this chat solo. Where are y'all at? Thank you, Mike Jimmy. You are a hero. Several time zones behind. Hey, Richie, I hope you're doing well. Keep creating, my brother. LOL. Morning, Rich. Dropping by to say hi really quick and putting a like on the show. Pouring concrete today. Well, that's probably because the rain has finally abated for a while. We've been absolutely hammered. I have to take the machete to the backyard. It has been a nightmare. Wow, my voice is also deciding today is the day to crack and cut out, and my beverage is nowhere to be seen. It's going to be one of those, guys. We're going to make it work, though. Good morning, Joe. See, we got greetings. Hello. Working on some stuff. Might be more quiet than usual as Donna's taking sister for an appointment. Well, that's nice to Donna. At least she won't have to hear me all torn up today, because apparently I had a sneezing fit, and it kind of hurt my voice. Hopefully going to have a new video posted later today once I get it all stitched together. Awesome. That's what we want to hear. And greetings. And Trelena says hello to everyone. Hey, Trey. Hope you guys are doing well. Had the weirdest dream. I woke up this morning. I dreamt that I woke up this morning and you guys were making breakfast. It was odd. Never mentioned that we were all dressed like we were in like a 50s sitcom. It was a very strange dream. And everybody's saying, hey, Mike Jimmy says, yawn, lip syncing is heck, but I'll learn it eventually. Been up since 4 a.m. working since then. Dang, that's literally 12 hours ago. Good Lord, Jimmy. Mike Jimmy, you are a beast. I wonder if Nick will see my DM in time for the show. Technically, I did, but I can't share the video because, as I said, my computer has engaged in a few random restarts. I am fighting the good fight, and if there is a delay, you guys should know what's going on. I try to let you know. No worries. It goes there he is. There he is. Mr. Manatee Man. Yes, folks. So there will be some things. Slacker. Some people will blame everything to void their work. Oh, you guys have no idea how much I hate in my soul. And hate is not a word I use often or easily. Being unable to do my job here. I take the responsibility of running the show deadly serious, and to have the system, because it wasn't its usual not wanting to start up. No, it let me start up. I'm an hour ahead. Everything's feeling good. Had my breakfast flown, and then it just goes, there was an error, blue screen, and I get to play the blue screen game. So we are making itself work. But yes, if that makes me a slacker for fighting the good fight, I am a slacker, and we'll just move on. Good morning, friends. Just passing through. Please consider yourself guest over. Well, good morning, Brian K. Morris. And folks, remember, support Brian K. Morris at Risingtide.pub and hashtag bring cookie home. I want to see them. And guys, we are under a month out from Library Con to the Mondays, but we know it's FezCon. Yes, at least 3 old men in Fezes will be gathered for the sacred ritual of trying to sell stuff to people at the library. And I'm going to be promoting the heck out of this everywhere I can. I'll be bugging the library director to try and get it mentioned in the newsing paper. And, we'll see what we can do otherwise just to get that out there, because I want to bring your books to local hands, and likewise, because I'm all about promoting the people who work, the people who try. Oh, my neck knife is getting hot in there. And making it a better place through creativity. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're here for. That's why we strive, we try, we build in the face of adversity so that we can improve the world through our creativity and tell the stories so that we do not have an ideological genocide in the event of our passing. And let's see. Comment dump. We've got a happy little comment dump. Bam, bam. And good morning, Ryan. Morning, Mike, Jimmy. Hope all is well. Doing all right, I'm getting by as always. Had a pretty relaxing week so far. Taking it. See, Mike, Jimmy will call. I've been working 12 hours on a project. A relaxing week. I love you, my friend. Morning, everyone. Morning, Michaela. Hope you're having a good morning. Keeping your hump day motivated. Everybody's reading Michaela. Hey, sugar. Oh, wow. That hits my old honey goblin button. Oh God, melty goodness. Everybody's, hey B, what's up? Just me, sweetie. Oh yeah. Everybody's like, let's see. Oh, I just finished my contribution to music video. My contribution to a music video. You'll see it around Halloween. Oh, Brian, I have not seen enough of your stuff. When are we getting a solo Brian chat show again? We miss you, brother. Can we get some clever title pendings? We miss you. I do what I can to keep the spirit alive, but we need you to rise from the ashes and grace us with your presence, my friend. Getting by. And Joe's greeting everybody. Hey, Joe. G.I. Joe. Okay. I just finished my edits on my latest book. It's off to be published. Yes, congratulations, Michaela. You can find that at www.authormichaelaj. Working on werewolf book again, but not as much as I'd like, but as much as I can, keep it butt in chair. Hey, a little bit a day goes a long way. It just takes putting in the hours and getting it done. I got faith in you, brother. Got one of 3 stories for the anthology I'm editing for someone else. Writing chapter 4 of Volcana 2, published chapter 3 on my Patreon. What's that? Brian K. Morris has a Patreon at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris, plotting a new novel. Ooh, support BKM. He does wonderful stuff, and then you get behind the scenes. Let's see. Oh, yes, Joe Bachman finished his wood burning project for the park Tuesday night. Put the first layer of clear coat on it, putting another layer tonight, and it will be done. That I've seen that project. It's incredibly professionally done. Bravo, Joe. Tools. I wonder what God gave us from day one. Brains and in order to be fruitful and multiply. And we focused on one of those and not the other. Ooh. Turned in a romance story to Molly Daniels, getting ready for a show in Waverly, Tennessee this weekend. Other than that, I'm getting nothing done. Other than that, geez, you just keep beasting things out. I am incredibly impressed with your work. As always, Brian, you know that. And hey, Joe, good morning. Hey, Brian. Thanks, Brian. And with that, I got to clear out the van for a secret project. Have an excellent hump day. One and all. Continue the awesomeness, Nick. I do it because, I stand on the shoulders of a giant, Brian. Blessed luck in your secret plans. I hope you have a wonderful day. My days will be catching up on house cleaning and maintenance and winter, starting the long slog to winter prep and getting a old car off my property. It's going to be an exciting week for me in the getting a lot of stuff done that's not much fun. But we have to do that to get through, to keep doing what we do. So I can't wait to see you soon. Be sure to like this video and share it with your peeps. Then do foul, unspeakable things to the subscribe button. Make it point at the teddy bear later. Thank you, Brian. I know I can trust you. FezCon rules. 8 watching, 5 likes. Get on it, people. That's right, because if you don't, Michaela will just, see, here's the thing, y'all. When Sarah's here, she'll pop out of the coffin and crack the whip for you. Michaela's an old country girl. She'll just pull out her longbow and say, run all you want, you'll just die tired. That's a joke, YouTube. That is a joke. I do not condone violence on this channel. Let's see. Oh, to be fair, it has been relaxing, only having to work on animating than my aching body lifting boxes all day. My internal angry screaming is just going to keep going, and we don't talk about that. Okay. If there's anything I can do to help as the comment dump hits, let me know. Oh, what? Nick, says Brian K. Morris, I'll be doing a CTP in October. Expect some dark, sticky fun. Oh, I wonder who he'll be talking to. Hey, yo. Hey, yo, Pops. And hey, yo, Pops. Glad to see you. How you doing? Joe Bachman says, time to run. More concrete is here. Ready to fill some holes on this lovely hump day. I hope you fill all the lovely holes, Joe. Brian, too. But, Joe, I hope all those holes get filled. Filling holes on hump day. Is there anything better? To fill or be filled? That is the question. I got to be real careful. This almost became Nevermind the Furthermore. After dark. Anyway. Hey, Michaela. Sorry, back now. Hello to all I missed. What did I come back to? Joe Bachman's filling holes. Michaela's applauding the effort. Brian K. Morris stopped by before shoving something secret into his van to do secret unspeakable things. Accountability has been floating, and it is the weirdest Wednesday we have had in a while. That last message was brought to you by a viewer named E31. Anyway, to be filled. Hey, I do not judge the top nor the bottom, for everything there is in its season. How the heck are you, Johnny freaking Cage? I hope you're having a great morning. Oh, and thank you. Thank you for being so supportive Friday. The Historical Fencing Guild got real honest recently. And some good people were real honest back. And it's a brave and very groovy thing to know people who can actually reasonably talk about life experiences in such a way. So all the respect in the world. RDS, to fill or not to be filled, that is the question. Michaela's like sitting there taking notes. Yes, if it weren't for my rather specific reputation, I would be tempted to write spicy stuff. But I don't want to get in any more trouble than I already am, and that would be too easy. So, folks, what are your big projects? Oh, I know. Carl, we did pretty well at the Batoon Sun, and I soon back. Lydia, what's my line? What do you mean you can't see the teleprompter? Lydia, you're just hanging around. I know it's almost spooky time, Lydia. We will work on a way to get you back on. Don't look at me in that tone. Okay, back to Carl Wisman says we did pretty well at Mattoon Show, and I had to reorder some books. Good thing Lulu had a 10% off earlier this week. Taking notes, I wrote the book. Yes. Hey, Michaela, almost caught your video live this morning. Good on you. If you can catch up with Michaela live, there was a club of some sort in Northwest Indiana, and it's been closed a long time. I, of course, never attended, but we drove by often, and it had a sign. It was a big pink building right up by the by the Dunes National Park, not far from it. On, I want to say 12, either 12 or 20. It's been a long time since I've been out there. It was a big pink building, and it had a sign that said, Helena's Hot, Live, and Otherwise. I'm pretty sure it was a vampire club. I think about these things when I drive by and I see signs like that. It's like the sign that used to be on 41 headed into Lafayette. I don't think it's still there, but Bob's Dog Obedience School and Taxidermy Shop. You gotta think those are some motivated puppies. Anyway, moving on. Michaela's working on 3 more stories for a deadline of January 27th. Let's see. That's great, Michaela. Pop sends out. It was announced Monday that I would be emceeing the Soul City SuperCon June 9 to 11 in Augusta, Georgia, featuring Joe Fest, a film set festival, and a concert. I'm kind of blown away right now. You should be. That's awesome. It's great that you are getting recognized and called out to do things. Just remember to use your powers for at least 80% good. No, that's awesome. I hope people in that area get a real kick out of it, and you have a wonderful time. I am sorry, my voice is really in bad shape because, like I said, I haven't been feeling very well. Hey, Pops, that's great. I was humbled and excited at the same time. Hard to describe. I completely understand when you get notoriety or an award or something, especially in this group so flooded with imposter syndrome, that it could be a lot. But I know you'll do great. an accomplished presenter. You have a lot of practice, and that's what we need to see. And thanks. Way to go, Pops. I'll do my best. Yeah, do your best. Thanks, Carl. Alrighty. Let's see. Since it's quiet, I have a couple more announcements. I am torn between two very important projects to me, and then the ones I need to do. The important projects to me are a book that I have been heavily requested to do on my approach to survival. And I don't mean like I don't mean like, out in the woods, but situational tactics and how I take what I've trained with as a swordmaster for 20 some odd years, as someone who has endured assorted forms of violence, and put it together into the methodology I have used to survive a number of odd situations. That will be coming very slow down the pipe because it's too important a book. It's not a direct volume in the Historical Fencing Guild as of yet. I may change it, but it is a important volume. It's one of those where this is one I have to write very carefully because we're talking about real world stuff, not the fun of being on a list field just playing pretend. So that's coming down the pipe. I have a couple pieces of fiction really just pushing at me. The problem is I have a lot of creative projects pushing at me real hard right now, and I'm going to be coming up on a whole bunch of stuff for the game design front. So it's getting a little difficult for me to sort and prioritize. And I'm going to admit that here because I believe in showing off one's scars so other people know that they can heal. And I believe in sharing when I'm having a difficult time. I'm not going to mask that I'm having a difficult time. That would be the strategic thing to do. But that would go counter to my mission. And my mission is to help folks write and create stuff. And hi, Glenn. Yes, well done, Pops. It is great that he's doing that. But we have a lot that we have to actually talk about. So let's talk about this. How do you protect your brand? I have a good question because this has come up in conversation with Luke Stone a lot. With lately, a few other people have come to me with questions about your brand, your personal identity. Now, branding and such is not just, in this group, I hold up a fez and people think Brian K. Morris, then Carl, then possibly me. I say Hawaiian shirt, and in this group, I've branded myself. This is something people expect from my broadcasts. Insanity, difficulty with the backgrounds, technical difficulties. It's all part of my charm. But I also try to be sincere, and I try to promote a practical approach to kindness. I like that better. Anyway. But what does that mean? That means, for example, I'm going to put myself, it might be a little spicy here, but I have friends and people I promote, hashtag Cat Club. Wow, yeah, going right there. Who have political differences than me. I promote them because I respect them as creators. And I believe that we have to be able to separate the creation from the work, or else most of our founding fathers, many, if not all, the great authors of all time, musicians, game designers, a lot of people that technically I look up to because of their skill sets. You have to separate their character flaws. the obvious example that I can pull out is Lovecraft. I love Lovecraft. I love Lovecraftian horror. I love especially his short stories, the efficiency of his grasp on fear and madness, and the complexity of his lore. However, Lovecraft was a xenophobic, racist, kind of misogynist. He was a jerk. He was severely mentally ill. But I've also found that in modern okay, and Richie's saying Ray Stevens, Shriners, Matt Smith, then Brian, then Carl, then you and the Fez. Okay, sure. I'm talking folks around here. Brian, that's part of. But we also know that Brian's identity is accepting. It is welcoming. It is encouraging. It is empowering. That's what drew me to him. His creativity at its best. It's why I promote him. It's why I promote people like Kat Rothamel. It's why I promote a lot of people. Now, I have some friends I do not promote all their programs, even people I really, really like, because I do not agree with elements of the content. I come, for example, from a family and a background that sobriety is very important to, and in some cases, incredibly hard won. And I've spent a lot of time helping people and trying to get them on the path where they can achieve sobriety. I take it seriously. It is probably one of my second or third biggest hangups. My first being suicide. I have spent a lot of time trying to prevent suicide. But addiction is another one that I consider a concept, a threat to the people I love. That means I do not condone alcohol use. I don't condemn it either. And that's the trick. It's not my job to say, you shall not. No. I don't do that. But I'm not going to sit here and promote it on my channel. I do not promote smoking on my channel because part of my experiences have involved being around people who have had lung cancer. I've had a lot of experiences trying to help people. And when I see somebody suffer from something, I try not to do it. I try to do everything I can to keep others. This means I don't go on some shows. This means I don't promote some lifestyles. That's because that is part of my identity. And because I'm an open book kind of guy, it's part of my brand. Now, that does not make me better than anyone because I do not believe that. There are millions of people who can recreationally have a alcohol or other substances and not have a problem with it. I am not one of them, so I treat it like an allergy. But because of the people whom I love, I can't risk my status as a safe place. So I have to be very careful. And I will watch people who can't handle the responsibility, not just of the substance, but the responsibility of how they promote the substance. And that's what I watch for. Not from a holier than thou, because I'm not. I am a backsliding. I'm a failed pacifist. I was married into a backsliding Baptist, TV Catholic. I am not terribly adept at a lot of things, running on borrowed time here. But if I have to go what I want my brand to be, what I want my brand to be about is empowering, educating, and entertaining. that's what I do. That's the perspective I go from when I write my books. It's the perspective I go from when I uh, plan my shows. Who do I want to interview? Who do I want to talk to? Who do I want to engage with? Uh, and to protect that, it means doing things that sometimes are unprofitable. Um, I misquote Walter Lippmann, but the gist of it is, and it's not verbatim because my brain doesn't work verbatim. A man has honor when he maintains a set of ideals, maintains the pursuit of a set of ideals, when it is uncomfortable, unprofitable, or dangerous to do so. And that is part of my brand. Now, my personal brand, how how I would like to be seen. I fail sometimes, but I try to admit it. That's also part of it. Very open. What is your personal brand? How are you establishing it? And how are you today working to both maintain it and work from the perspective? Some people I know have a brand where it's very, they are known for being very supportive and very open and a lot of fun. Some people are intensely sexual. And I don't, that's the difference between me and a lot of people. I don't call that a dirty thought. That means you are an adult who has thoughts of an incredibly uh, uh, sexually charged nature. That, in my mind, does not make them a bad person. That doesn't mean I would let that affect the rating that I shoot for, which is roughly PG for this channel. I once in a while will slip verbally. I once in a while will slip contextually, either because I'm human and I make mistakes or that there's an error. Now, believe it or not, Carl Witzman responded, understood, Nick. I dealt with people with addiction that ruined their lives. That's why we stress on another platform that we would not force anyone to. And I was not actually thinking in terms of you. There are other people from outside this set of circles who I know watch but don't say anything. I believe the polite term is lurkers, the impolite term is stalkers, and that is a thing. But it's also important that I'm not holding anyone. My rules aren't everybody else's, so I'm interested in learning what are yours and what do you do to protect, because we live in an era where yes, cancellation is very much a real thing, and that is a whole nother conversation. But oh, good. I don't want you to, because I just didn't want you thinking I was trying to subtly shut you out, because I'd be like, what, we'll talk about this. Carl has done cigar programs. He has done programs about concerning alcohol, and he um, is involved / runs the secret humor group, in which many people often imbibe. I have no issue with any of that because it's all done for the most part very responsibly. People are careful. Now, I have seen a trend and it worries me. And because it worries me, I worry about my friends, I worry about my family, and I worry about the people who are somewhere in between. There are a lot of programs, and right now, while I'm talking about this, because it is important, I don't want Frog G to think I'm ignoring him. Frog, I love you, my friend, and I will be running your plug shortly. Frog's putting an amazing set of links, and he's asked you guys to tickle the algorithm and smash the like. I just want to get through this conversation and get it out there, hopefully getting some response either externally here, which is always welcome, or at least internally. Because right now it's happening more frequently in some circles I'm in, of intoxicated streams. people will get on streams and they will be moderately to severely intoxicated. And this isn't like a private group where they're talking among friends. This is recorded for all time. And I was talking with Luke and some other people who have been on programs that might be like this, and I got worried, and I had to express my concerns because that's how I roll. Um, I worry, folks, that people will do things on their streams and not realize that everything on the internet is oddly eternal. In that every goofy thing you say and do can and will come back to you. Sometimes positive, sometimes negative, but it's always out there. Now, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've said a lot of goofy things. I've said things uh, that are mistakes, and I tried my best to rectify them. But I want y'all to be careful out here. Not to just tap the cop rock bit that I'll be dealing with when I talk to Luke with on Nerd Bacon tomorrow morning. But seriously, it's easy to forget, especially for new people coming on online, that it can and will get back to you. And some people can safely have avatars and other things where they can hide behind a different identity. And there's no shame in that. It's a wise thing. My problem is I've been, digitally out, so to speak, for a long time, in that what I'm about has been pretty easy to find and remarkably consistent. So we have to talk about that because that becomes part of my brand. And there is one thing that some people will buy your goods because you have come across as either a nice person or a not nice person. It's amazing. Negativity sells. It's tragic, but true. And I want you guys to think about that, because building your brand and what you do is almost as important as, why you do it is almost as important as what you do. I believe the intent greatly affects not just the outcome, but the effectiveness and the ramifications. And that seems like something we think of in legal terms very easily, the difference between murder and manslaughter and things like that. But it also has to be part of how you live your life. We must strive whenever possible to engage with our lives and live aware. I'm coming off of a long, long period of time where, because of my health, I could not engage in my surroundings. I'm still striving to find ways to engage socially. And maintain what I need to maintain. Being part of it is being the parent of an autistic child. Part of it is just dealing with my physical limitations and some of the other stuff. So this is why I'm so careful, because it's Nick Tockert. And I'll tell you something. If you read, my name is not even my own. My full name has the second at the end. I am named directly after my grandfather, which means I bear the responsibility to make sure the name Nick Tockert, the brand, if you will, represents something good in this world. It's very different than my grandfather, so I'm a very different person from what I've been told. But that obligation is a real thing. It's a nigh tangible thing. And it's something I think about. So I hope you are thinking about it. And it's not just about being careful. Careful implies fear. Be deliberate. If you have something to say it. If it's messed up, apologize. Because NLP. Okay, we've got some interesting comments. But what you need to see is that your actions matter for good or bad, but the thing that the world will always try to convince you, the great lie that is perpetrated on humanity, and I think about these things, is that our actions don't matter. Because of my experiences, because of my conditions and such, it's easy for me to fall into that trap of thinking that that my actions don't matter. Some people, it gives them a frankly Joker-like freedom. Well, my actions don't matter. I'm going to say what I want, no matter what, whatever. Which is fine, but you have to be prepared to truly accept the level of consequence. We talk about, well, this is the hill I'll die on. Sometimes, literally, folks. And we are approaching an era, I think, where consequences politically, especially in America, consequences literally, whether it's just or not, maybe a separate thing, but consequences are happening. I'm sure that somewhere, some far more astrology-oriented person will remind me that something is big and in retrograde, or what goes around is coming around really hard. But be careful with that, because it does. I believe what goes around comes around. I believe that there is a karmic debt, and the longer it takes to get you, it will get you, whether it's positive or negative. I have yet to determine the mechanism, however, is true. So I'm going to pull back. I want to talk, because our man Frog G is only a few more days from his amazing launch. 3 more days, actually. And I'm gonna do that, launching September 17th. Sign up now for Frog G, Voodoo, Gods, and Magic. And I'm gonna run his banner because my throat's cracking a little bit here.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. You know I be on a what? I'ma get it, you know I be on the what? Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving this to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work.
Frog G has plugs for everybody, including me. And I'm going to go up and I'm going to hit them in just a second. And please pardon the gum. My beverage got left out, so my throat is quite dry. But let's see what we have. Let's see. Of course, Frog G is reminding you to please tickle the algorithm, smash the like, dingle the bells, and subscribe. Because the kind of creative, independent thought that I try to put out does tend to run counter to the algorithm. Critical thinking, self-analysis, self-improvement are not mindlessly profitable. And it goes against a certain set of trends that I see sociologically, both in our nation and in our corporate interests. So please, if you want to support anybody we talk about the show, if you want to support your stuff, please share that out there. And my stuff can be found at Tockert.com. My Amazon is Amazon.Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert II. And you can find my other channel on Friday nights, and hopefully more now that we've gone from heat to monsoon to heat. It's been really weird. The Historical Fencing Guild. Joe Bachman at joebach.tech.com/app-portfolio. Pops Van Zandt on Comic Talks with Pops Van Zandt on our friends at YouTube. We've mentioned 3 more days. September 17th. Sign up now for the launch of Frog G, Voodoo, Gods, and Magic. I want to see Frog G succeed. Don't forget to check out Cindy Koepp's Project Stellari, a quick game from the stars. it looks like it could be a lot of fun. I hope she does well. She recently had some malicious backers promise a whole lot of money and then back out. That is a major flaw with many of the crowdfunding projects, and I consider that while there are reasons, emergencies happen, I do consider it rather bad form at best. And people who know me know how weighted the term bad form is in my lexicon. The slightest comment expressing an opinion that you outgrow years later can come back and haunt you. It does, and it can. And that's partially why I believe we need to work on forgiveness as a society. I believe we need to work on responsibility. And responsibility works better when forgiveness tempers the response. Justice should be a temperate force. We are flawed beings inherently. We make mistakes. And the idea that somebody could say something and then, or use a term that was, in different use 10, 20, 50 years ago, and have it bounce back now, it's kind of scary. This is why I try to maintain my way of working around it is I'm going to say what I believe. And if I can be convinced, through logic, reason, and stuff that it is wrong, I will, amend and apologize. If it is something like a faith-based matter, that's between me and God as a rule, and my experiences. And it's not something people are going to change. It's complex, it's we keep trying to reach perfect consensus, and that's an impossible goal. And we need to tolerate, things we disagree with that do us no one else any harm. The big example is the pineapple pizza debate. I like it because it's so ubiquitous and so idiotic. People will get passionately and furious about whether someone likes pineapple on a pizza. And I think part of it is a matter of the attempt to force compliance. Whether something is popular or not, in certain circles determines a lot of its perceived value. And I think that's wrong. Not everything needs to be a popularity test, especially if it doesn't hurt anyone. I don't know why these keep coming up, but I see that. That's why I may not indulge in certain lifestyles, but I don't believe they should be illegal, because just because they're not my jam doesn't mean they shouldn't be somebody else's jam. And many times the illegality creates a worse problem than the problem. And that's pretty much my approach to things like marijuana. I do not smoke marijuana. I will never seek to take marijuana without, it's like if a doctor said I had to or something, I guess I'd consider it. But I don't believe in personally pursuing anything that intoxicates me or adversely affects my ability to perceive reality. That's my rules, but that's not everybody else's. So I have no problem with people who understand that that's their thing, and I won't promote it, but I won't hold it against them either. It's when people try to force you to agree, that we run into this problem. And I cannot abide that. I consider it a form of bullying. And I cannot abide a bully. I mechanically can't. it grates at my spine like a buzzsaw. It's an angle grinder at my calm and control. And I prefer not to have my calm damaged. It is something I work to maintain. So let's see what you guys are saying, because I've been prattling a lot. I'm going to put the last thing by Richie I commented up as an anchor, and we're going to go here. NLP uses negging to get folks to want to garner your favor. It's actually horrific abuse when you look at it. I'm going to need to know what an NLP is, Emerald Green Frog. Something like bullying for good, Rich. And good, of course, is what we like, not what the others do. Exactly. Oh, neuro-linguistic programming. Back when I was terminally single and was trying to figure out how to talk to who. Oh, go. Okay. Okay. That NLP. Trying to figure out how to talk to the fair of sex fell across my radar. I was horrified. It literally is gaslighting. I loathe manipulation. The NLP folks are laughing all the way to the bank. I'm very curious to see who will win the custom dice. Frog G makes amazing custom dice. I have a set. They're over there. You really want to join up. Sign up to subscribe to Frog G's if his art is your jam, etc. It's a neat story. It's very different, and I will have my periodic confession is I love comic books, but I am not a traditional superhero fan. And I've talked about that. It takes a lot it has to be very well written for me to like a superhero story as much as maybe I used to. I like a lot of things, and I'm not bashing. There are great superhero stories. I mean, I work with Luke Stone, so I do enjoy a superhero story now and again. But I'm always going to be give me an adventure. Give me something with some fantasy, something beyond the normal trope of tights and cloaks. Frog G, Voodoo Gods and Magic is definitely that. And I love when people are bold enough to go in a direction that isn't derivative. And I see a lot of derivative stuff. I see a lot of junk too. But to see what Frog G's pulled out and what I've heard of this story, it's both got the classic elements that make a good story. Growth of characters, real conflict. But it's coming from a neat angle, and I dig that. Please support Frog G. And when I tell you his dice are amazing, his dice are amazing. Their pineapple doesn't harm me, so it's cool. Exactly. But it hurts my delicate sensibilities, so you are therefore against everything I believe in. It's tribalism. Yes. I get this a lot. I get this. Why don't you? I was not very fond with the opening episodes of The Karate Kid. I didn't like the new series. I didn't like the spin. I felt they were glorifying bullying and exceptional violence at a time where it's not really something I'm into. And I elected, after seeing what was doing some research, looking into it, doing some research. I want to say doing some research because I did not research it. I looked into it. Not my jam. Why would I bother? I lost friends over that. I had people have screaming, spittle flying, how dare you not want to watch The Karate Kid? I mean, towering over, it's a dumb show. I mean, it may or may not be dumb, but wasn't my jam at the time, and certainly not something I want to engage in. Yes, and we need, as creatives, to encourage people to go beyond that, both personally and pragmatically, because you can't profit as an independent creator in a tribalist area unless you find your tribe, and then you are limited in scope, which is tragic. It's like in recent years, I have had, you don't like this candidate, former, why am I doing that? You don't like DJT? Nope, I don't. Don't like what he stands for. Didn't like what he stood for when he came up. Didn't like the way he moved, talked, or anything. As I said, I cannot abide a bully. Well, then you must love Hillary, or you must love Biden, or you must love somebody else. No, don't really like them either. I will choose the lesser of two evils when given the chance, and then work to mitigate it. But it's like whataboutism has become so bouncy that no one will take an issue for an issue straight on. And I don't like that. We can thank the temperance movement for the mafia being in the U.S. right now. Capone got into alcohol while it was illegal. Yeah, that is what ups the ante enough to be profitable and makes crimes contagious. I do not like any number of substances, but I believe if we decriminalized a lot of substances and treated addiction like an actual ailment, we could help people. Because the crimes that are committed are usually, the worst crimes seem to be tied to the sales or the acquisition of money to acquire the drug, whatever it is. And then the fear of the police. Why not just be independent of thought? I'm not saying the independent party. I'm not saying any party. I mean, I kind of happened. I wanted to vote for Ross Perot back in the day. I liked what he was saying for my first vote. And then what happened with him? Wow, my phone is just buzzing. Someone is warning me about whatever it is I'm talking about, because I am getting all kinds of buzzy messages. Let's see what we got. Okay, to make things better, you have to examine the problem. And when people are making it a personal argument, an argument's not going to solve it. Debates only make sense when people are vying for a prize. That's why they happen in elections. Everything else should be a discussion. We should be trying to figure out what will solve a problem better. And the people, I feel, in certain criminal elements that have been criminalized now are being pushed towards a level of it starts becoming very zero tolerance, zero all or nothing. And once it becomes all or nothing, if somebody thinks they're going to get shot for a misdemeanor amount of marijuana because of the color of their skin, they're going to run. They're going to fight. They're going to do whatever it takes not to die. That is a terrifying loop, because that action promotes a stronger action, and we have to get off that wheel. Which is a little off topic, but this show's off topic. The show's all over the place. I love some OTR off-topic rampancy, but if we're going to talk creativity, we have to look at how our creativity fans these. I have seen several. I'll give you a no ties. Good. G.K. Chesterton is an amazing author. You should look him up. He's written a lot of things, and many of them have actually been put to song by a gentleman by the name of Michael Encore. He's part of what got me into G.K. Chesterton. One thing he did was the good ship Clampherdown. And it was when the iron ships were taking over for the sailing ships. And they were talking about this great ship Clampherdown. And it started, it engaged a little sailing vessel. I want to say it was a British sailing vessel. American ship engaged a British sailing vessel. And if not, for the purpose of aligning it with the audience, we'll say that. Okay. And it had huge cannons and massive boiler engine. It's a big metal ship, and everything starts failing, and they're trying to shoot at the little ship, and every time they do, everything breaks. And the ship is foundering, and the captain of the small ship says, the captain asks for your sword, which was a way of surrender. And the captain of the Clampherdown says, they've asked for the sword, they'll have it now while Cutlass is on board. And they swarmed the ship and took their sailing ship as the Clampherdown sunk. It was supposed to be a biting commentary on the illusion of people wanting a fictionalized era of warfare when modern warfare had outgrown it. And it became a rousing story that everyone loved. It became something where people just adored it. Because it's an adventure story and things. We need to, as creators, keep that in mind. How can our story be spun? If we are doing satire, be dang sure that people won't take it wrong. Rich says, even these people who are you don't like the Game of Thrones, what's wrong with you? Are you questioning my taste? Exactly. There are certain programs that become cultural phenomenons, and they are engineered to be so. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I disagree with a decision, and I'm disagreeing with it for a simple reason. That is a personal taste, and people will assign a great deal of other meaning. For example, and I need to lead up with this. I am not a big fan of what I deem the American Idol sound. Okay? And I don't know the term for it, but when singers sing and instead of hitting the notes, they kind of yodel at the note, and you may hear Xander playing with Stewart in the background. It's like Whitney Houston did it right in her cover of "I Will Always Love You" from the Bodyguard soundtrack. That and that whole it's like a broader version of Dolly Parton's vibrato. It's this kind of they yodel at the sound. They don't hit the note. They just sort of throw sound near the note. And it can have a neat effect in limited, but everybody does it, and it became very popular with the American Idol crowd. It became a very popular sound. You hear it a lot. This vocal It's almost like live action auto-tune. It's really weird. Now, why does this matter? The new Mermaid, Little Mermaid is coming out. There's a lovely African-American woman, I believe she's American, black, playing Ariel. Don't have much problem with that. Okay? The head part's the important part anyway, Badum Cha. But when she was singing in the commercial, she did that yodely thing. And that isn't a white person or a black person or any person thing. It's a musical style. I'm like, oh, I don't quite like that. That's it. No commentary on the aesthetics or race swapping or anything else. But people can take that completely out of tone and go, you don't like it because of this. And then there are racist nut jobs, and they exist, who are being complete racist nut jobs. It's not that. I'm just like, I don't like that style of singing. Hard stop. There is no subtext. If it was a white girl going, hi, like it's almost over singing, I wouldn't like it. It's just part of the way my ear works. And it literally could be because I don't hear in certain ranges that can get physically uncomfortable for me. If that sounds a bit autistic, I'll take it. It's Lord knows I am neurodivergent. We're just not sure in all the ways. But that doesn't mean I hate the movie. Doesn't mean I hate the actress. Doesn't mean I don't want it to be made. Go for it. The sound from that clip was mildly uncomfortable. I just had to take 10 minutes to explain and justify my reasoning for a 2-second. I don't like that. Because we're not allowed critical thought. And that terrifies me, because we need to be able to use our minds to analyze. And again, if it's not hurting anybody else and it's not hurting us, I'm not sitting here slicing my arm up because I don't like an approach to singing. I'm not hurting people because I don't like approach to singing. I'm just simply not probably going to watch that movie. That should be okay. And it's not. And you have to decide where your line on that is, because people will push you. And to the opposite, there are people who will push you very hard towards, well, if you agree with this, you have to agree with everything we do. And sometimes it can be tempting. It can be comforting. Hey, maybe we are like-minded. And as both creators and as presenters, we have to be vigilant. So let's see what else is going on. The bandana came off. It's on. Yeah. The bandana is to keep the disaster that is my hair somewhat contained, although it is, retreating. Oh God, I'm 40. I'm middle-aged. I'm 41. Yeah, I'm 41. Middle-aged and overweight, and I have a receding hairline. I think I've done just about everything wrong a man can do right now, and I'm okay with that. That just happens. Didn't quite realize how much terrain I lost lately, but that's okay too. Hybrid's trash day. You know what? Yeah, I've been talking. Let's hear about somebody's products who might be more interesting than you.
Welcome to Hybrids, the Sons of Gods. The epic remaster of the original Trash Day arc is now being collected in a standard trade paperback. With more story, more art, and behind-the-scenes information, this book is the way creator Luke Stone intended the story to be told. This special Arrow Comics Remastered edition is full of energy and excitement. Critically acclaimed and one of independent comics' favourite teen books, you are sure to find yourself lost in this expansive universe. So, secure your copy today in this crowd-funded group buy. Once the funds are collected, the books will be sent off to print and delivered post-haste. Luke and the Arrow Comics team have a perfect record of fulfillment. You can pledge with confidence.
Yeah, folks. Luke Stone still got a few copies last time I checked of the initial run of that, and he has done the crowdfunding through his own site, which as creators we need to pay attention to, because if it's something you can do yourself and not need to pay site fees, that has value. So, and like I said, Hybrids is a wonderful universe if you like Claremont era X-Men, and knowing what's coming, I'm genuinely more excited about what's coming than what has already arrived. And those are great books. But knowing what's coming in the mind of Luke Stone, we want to watch that. That's great stuff. Let's see. People are worried about red or blue to paint the shoots and not the individual issues that are crumbling. Exactly. Yeah, fan zombies are even more rabid than the religious ones. It's like a fan. Well, no. It's like a fan religion. Exactly. And the problem is that process of worship of charismatics and worship of properties. It does not work with me. Now, part of it is I will say this: there is something fundamentally wired wrong with me in that I can enjoy music. I love music, good music, especially to me, what I deem good music. But that when I watch that thing where a group of individuals turn into a solid group because they're all kind of entranced by the music, that doesn't work on me. So it means like a concert, while awesome, can also be a very isolating thing for me, because suddenly I feel more alone for being in the crowd than I would if I were at home listening to it alone. I don't know if that makes sense, but it affects me, and I don't know what to do with that information, but I know it's there, and I know it affects my brand. It affects who I am, how I present myself, what I create. So that's something that needs to be looked into. We have another comment dump. Oh, and a sizable one. That's nice. You should see the disclaimer that I had to put on the Mad Gasser book, that it's a page long explaining that I did not condone this or that to avoid blowback. It's fiction, folks. Disclaimer. Contained within this volume is an instructional guide to a martial art. Martial arts, by their very nature, can be dangerous. Any attempt to perform the techniques within can possibly lead to injury, death, or death. The writer, publisher, and retailers of this book deny any liability of harm to persons or property which may occur while attempting the techniques described in this book. Please consult your medical care provider before attempting any exercise or martial arts program. It's in small font. It's in the front of the book. It's necessary. Yeah. Never underestimate the ability of dumb people in large numbers. Vibrato. Yeah, vibrato. Richie says Game of Thrones is an awesome example. Misty doesn't like nudity. She's highly offended, very Baptist, so I don't watch it to respect her. Then folks get out the torches and pitchforks. And that is an interesting point. And that actually layers another interesting point. because you choose not to watch it. Now, would you watch it without her around? Because I have, for example, I have an autistic son. I cannot watch a great number of the programs I would like to watch. There are several programs my wife simply doesn't enjoy. Most of our interests are pretty parallel, but so once in a while, I watch things by myself. I applaud your tolerance for Misty's discomfort, but at the same time, she should be tolerant enough to let you watch something you dislike, you like that she dislikes, if you're not there, because it's not hurting her. And that to me is a perfect example of where the line has to be. My wife reads a lot of things that I dislike. Man, she has some taste in romance novels that I do not like, or in extreme moderation. And for my own reasons, I don't feel I need to get into that here. But that doesn't mean I would ever stop her from reading them. And she even reads me scenes from them that don't pertain to the parts I don't like if she thinks they're fun, that I'd find it funny. That's where tolerance and balance lives. You have to tolerate people liking things. You have to tolerate them not liking things. And that's what we need to aspire to, in my opinion. Are you having flashbacks of people singing "You Raised Me Up"? That's okay. Riffs and runs can make a song unpalatable, and there are yes, there are some songs that physically cause me pain, and I know part of it's just the way my ears are, but there should be nothing wrong with I don't like that. I'm also not forcing you not to like it. I know a lot of people who love that style of singing. Oh my God, I know a lot of people who sing that style of singing. And sometimes, and I've had it till they sung it at me too much, where I've had to say, I mean you no offense nor harm, but that is not mine. Please don't sing it at me. If I can leave the area, I will leave the area. And sometimes you just have to endure stuff you don't like because that's life. You can't have your pudding if you don't eat your meat. But yeah. Critical thought. Holy carp. Next thing next thing you know, people will be thinking for themselves. Danger, danger, sarcasm. Yeah. Individuality. You're talking crazy now. Exactly. You're a young pup. I know I'm a young pup. I know in the circles I travel, I'm a young pup. Why is that? I've always sought the company of adults. I've always sought the company of my intellectual, experienced, or skilled betters. Because as long as I'm around people who are more experienced, I have a better chance of learning and improving. So yeah, I am a young pup, and I grade early, but I find it's worth it because I can learn things, and sometimes I learn things I don't want to do, and sometimes I learn things that's a great way of doing stuff. And there's it's funny. I don't smoke. I don't condone smoking, but I probably have more smoke than I've had smoke in my lungs because the smokers have the great stories. And I went where the stories are. I don't drink, but I've been designated driver a lot. Why? Because that's where the stories are. and my rules aren't everybody else's. But we can find it, and this is how I've learned so much, how I've lived so much in so many ways, is by letting myself be experienced. When you've seen behind the facade of so many of your heroes, you learn to try to become one. Exactly, that's part of my goal. I have met very few. There are a few of the people who I'm really truly inspired by that I've met, and they're amazing people. Many I've met that are quite disappointing when you see them as a person and not as from the lens of the cool work they create. But this goes back to what I call my Uncle Iroh clause. This is referencing Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yes, it was a Nickelodeon children's program. I consider it cartoon literature. I'm serious. The writing was phenomenal. There's a spin-off series that is not as good. There's some well done points there, but that's a debate for another time. But in it is a character named Uncle Iroh. And Uncle Iroh, frankly, is an old, rather fat, rather peace-pursuing individual. He is not harmless at all. He's quite formidable. But he pursues peace and growth and wisdom and kindness in a time where that's not really sought, and tries to pass that on to people. He learned it through tragedy. And I developed a clause, and the term, the Uncle Iroh clause, is one of my rules. And the Uncle Iroh clause, if you can't find the Uncle Iroh in a situation, it is your obligation to do your best to become the Uncle Iroh of said situation. Several good people compared me to that character. I think that's excessively generous, but it is a good goal whether I succeeded or not. Morning all. Sorry I'm late. Been on call since 9 to 5. Well, it's Wednesday. We tend to run a little late. And since Joe's here, let's run him his commercial.
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, and I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
My apologies. Got my beverage. Had to wrangle Stuart the Sword Cat. I know you guys would like to see Stuart the Sword Cat, but he's supposed to be taking a nap right now, Xander. So, let's see where we are. Let's see. Morning all. I'm late. Been on call. Back this morning on my 9 to 5. Hey, we all got to make the money and do the work. I appreciate that. Hey, Joe. Please help Cindy reach her goal for Solari. If you can, less than 20 hours left with some backers bailing on her. She needs us to step up and push it through. So yeah, guys, do what you can if you haven't supported Cindy on this project, because she is getting absolutely torn up right now. And it isn't, what people have done isn't fair. I'm not sure why they're doing it. If Cindy wants to share that with me, I will happily address it. But bit.ly/Stellari And it's not Solari, it's Stellari. Stellari. And mornings, living the dream, brother. Hope the golf went well. Hey, Carl. We've got a whole bunch of greetings. Worst day golfing is as good as the best day working. That's why I play miniature golf. I don't do a lot. So Amazonia looks great. Haven't had a minute to open them, though. Thanks, Carl. If she weren't now my life probably would, but as long as we're together, I'm going to respect her. It's not worth the fight. I do miss certain films I used to watch, but she's trying to be better. And that wasn't a shot at Misty, because I certainly know that situation pretty well. It was the folks need to understand where the line is, and that was a good point. Mature adults, skilled betters. Why the heck do you keep me around? Comic relief. No, Richie, you're a good guy, and that alone is something else. And you were a good guy when others haven't been. Everybody has their faults. Lord knows I am entitled in my meddling. I meddle. I bother. I ounce. I don't want to manipulate. Is not the word. But I will strongly suggest for people to, in ways that will better them, obviously, and objectively. And if they're uncomfortable, I stop. But it is a balance, and staying married is a balance of give and take. I just wanted to use that as an example because I could see both forces there. Never be afraid to defer to those who know. You might learn something. That's what I do. I've learned so much from Luke Stone. I've learned so much from Brian. And I will tell you, one of the best ways to learn I have found is to simply shut up and pay attention. And then after you've done so, politely ask a question, pay attention to it, and then try it out. Because one of the most annoying things in the world is what's called an ask hole. Ask hole, ASKHOLE, noun. An ask hole is an individual who will ask for advice on given matters repetitively, nigh constantly, then not act on the advice given, and then come back and complain why what they were trying to fix didn't work when they didn't follow the advice that they so heavily bothered you to ask about. I find then to gravitate those who challenge me more than my elder. Challenge is what pushes you upset. Some elders are set in their ways. It doesn't help you expand your view correctly. Absolutely. People who challenge you can make you better. Elder, in my term, is not necessarily a hard age level, because I watch art videos from people 10, 20 years my junior. They just have learned things I haven't. And that is for the difference between the pursuit of knowledge and the pursuit of wisdom. The other thing is one must suffer a death of ego and periodically renew it to continue to grow. Because if you can't get beyond your ego, and I'm using a expansive you, me, everybody, you, not shouting at Joe D. McVie. I want to make sure that's clear. You won't grow. You won't change. You will just you will stagnate first and then fester. And it twists and infects an individual where they can't change their art. They can't change their writing. They can't improve. And they're just grinding, trying to change. And all that does is build up energy till they pop. Like a zit. I don't want to be a zit. 41 years old, I still have to deal with frickin' zits. I don't want to be a zit. So, you challenge and you answer a challenge, but Let's see what we have here. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, wow. We actually had it get jumped. Okay. 10 not then. Good day. Coming by to say hi. Been recording a series for the trailer. Wonderful. Bonsert, as people know, I was a little late coming through the door because I'm dealing with intense computer problems. When your stuff is ready, I will probably get it uploaded and promote it. Right now, I'm dealing with technical difficulties, but great to see you. I hope the coloring book went well, because that was a really neat project. Let's see, and everyone's greeting and Radio Retro Future on YouTube. Thanks to Frog G. Hello, Frog G. Thanks for the share. And we love Frog G. Hey, Bonser. Everyone's greeting Bonser. Let's see. Everyone's greeting Joe. And Frog G is sharing from the desk of Small Press Publisher. And more Joe's linktree.symbol. At Radio Retro Future, you can inspire me to submit an article for Comics Unlimited based on our last chat. It was a good discussion on marketing versus culture when it comes to diversity. That was a fascinating chat. And regardless of the outcome, I hope you guys both could grow through that, or at least grow in understanding each other, because that's what I'm big on, understanding. Skill sets are born of practice and intelligence. Wisdom is born from experience and understanding. Some days I am not smart enough to be intelligent, but some days I can be wise. And sometimes it's the other way around. But we're all doing our best. And being able to communicate what's our best versus what's our worst, and open the doors of ideas between people. And I love that it's people across, vast spaces, across time, economic standings, race and gender. All that can be put into contact by this wonderful internet we have. And I don't think we appreciate that nearly as enough. And Stellaria, quick game from the stars. There's the Kickstarter link. Thank you. You asked if I would watch that kind of content without her around. Yes, I did. And I think you answered that. We may have been tangled up, but yes. Later on, I need to hop. Hey, Frog, I hope everything goes great on your program, on your comic. I hope everything is perfect. Thanks, Frog. I got the wrong link to an Italian newspaper. LMO, why can I picture Nick saying, "You can't strong arm this Armstrong," when he gets in his passionate mode? If you know where that great quote comes from, you play some great fight games. That takes me way back. But yeah, I am a man of great passion. Humble means, but great passion. And when I get rolling, the running joke is Brother Love comes out. And when Brother Love comes out, it's all good. We have to get our ideas across, and we have to be passionate and loving of each other. And I care. That's why I can never be cool. The cool, aloof, whatever, man. I'm just going to sit here and drink an expensive drink in a fancy suit, take care of number one. That's not me. It's never been me. It'll never be me. I do not have the narcissism for that, to be honest. If I were to reach for the right word, that's a little perhaps excessive. But yeah, I want folks to create, and I want folks to express themselves, and I want them to be in a world where they can. So they have to learn to play nice. And part of that is simply understanding that as soon as you stop growing, you start dying. Absolutely. Awesome. All right, my bunch. Enjoy your day, everyone. I will keep you posted, Nick. Thank you. Take care, Bonser. Later, Frog. Yeah, we've been going for an hour 40. This has been a kind of mellow show, all in all, despite the technical difficulties. So we probably should call it so folks can get to lunch. This is the part where Carl usually comes in and says, "Yeah, have a great day, everyone." But I hope this discussion, while rambling, did make you think about your personal choices, your assessment, and how you choose to manifest that as part of your brand, because that will affect you. We are very much in a personality based culture. People will buy products, right or wrong, for have a great day. Nick, get out of my head. Sorry. The accidents of being a empathic, big telepath, totally not a cryptid. PCO, right on cue. Yeah. So I want you guys to process that. I'll be back here Friday, and I want to hear seriously what you're doing with manifesting your brand. Oh yes, always, Richie. Love you, man, and definitely love the fam. But manifest your brand and what it means to you, because what you say, what you create now, 10 years, 20 years later, will define how you're seen. You are going to be a story, no matter what, and you'll always be a villain in some people's story, no matter what. But if you're going to be a story, write it down, because no matter how bad it is, you can edit it, but you can't edit a blank page. And with the story of your life, if you don't think about it and write it down, friends, someone else will. And with that thought, I say, have a wonderful day. Comic Event has Pops has some 3 shows this afternoon, 2 brand new ones, so hit him up. But other than that, guys, create something. Do something positive in the world. Plant a tree. Give somebody who you think needs it a sandwich. Don't care if they're like poor or starving or they're just having a bad day. Do something kind, because the world needs more of that. Create and folks, please be kind to yourself and each other. I will see you all very soon. Have a nice day.